Yo, what up? Cubic here, and
Do you like color bass?
if you don't know what color bass is, do you like dubstep with sounds like this? Well, you've come to the right place because today I will be teaching you how to make color bass with the brand new Ableton Live 11 stock plugins, specifically Hybrid Reverb and Spectral Resonator. I wanted to include Spectral Time, but it just didn't really work in the drop that I ended up making. But I will be showing you how to make color bass sounds with Spectral Resonator and Hybrid Reverb. So let's just jump into the tutorial. Alright guys, before we get started, I want to ask you to do one thing. If you could just scroll right down below this video to the like button and just smash it as hard as you can, that would be amazing. It helps this video get seen by more people, helps my hard work get a bit more exposure, and it just helps more people learn how to make color bass. Other than that, if you enjoy this video by the end, definitely subscribe because I'll be putting out more content like this in the future, and go ahead and hit that notification bell, because YouTube sucks in some ways and notification bell helps. And just one other quick thing, while you're watching this video, I want you to let me know in the comments at some point if starting a Patreon would be something you guys might be interested in. I have a bunch of content from this project file, whether it be racks or samples or just the project file as a whole, that I thought would be fun if I released as like bonus content on a Patreon, and I could do that for all future tutorials, as well as release like monthly sample packs and do like requested reviews, feedback streams, stuff like that. So I don't know, that's something I'm bouncing around in my head because I don't make any money doing these videos and they do take a lot of time. So at some point I do need to figure out a way to keep this sustained a bit, because there's going to be a point where I'm going to have to get a job again and then I won't have time for this anymore. So yeah, just something to think about while you're watching this video. Sorry to bore you with this stuff if you're a new subscriber. Now we'll go ahead and get into the color bass tutorial. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, so first time using a green screen. I'm excited. I hope this works out. I'm still getting used to how the lighting goes with all this, and I'm getting a new mic so that I can have it just sitting down on my desk so this mic isn't in the way. But yeah, we are here in Ableton 11. Brand new update to Ableton, brings along a few new plugins which we'll be using today. The main plugins that were added were Hybrid Reverb, which is basically a fusion of Ableton's reverb algorithms and convolution reverb from the Max for Live set. And then we also have Spectral Resonator, which is a more spectral type of resonator. It's not the same as the normal resonators. It's a little different than that, and we'll be using those all in this drop, as well as the final one is Spectral Time, which was added. And yeah, so all three of these are awesome new additions to the Ableton stock library collection. I'm going to be going through how we can use these new plugins to create things like color bass, which is what we'll be going over today. Definitely comment down below if you'd like me to do separate videos just breaking down each new plugin, walking you through how they work and other ways you can use them beyond just color bass. But for now, I thought it would be fun to make some color bass using the brand new Ableton Live 11 plugins. So without further ado, let's get into it. I did build a little project for myself beforehand because I mainly want to focus on the sound design aspect rather than build a whole entire track for you, more because I want to make this video shorter rather than longer. But I will go through this little setup here before we get into making some cool drop leads with the Ableton Live plugins. So this is what I have so far. So yeah, basically I have a nice luscious chord hit in the beginning, and then I'm gonna just have this chord kind of layered with the basses just to give some more melodic lusciousness to them and fill in some extra frequencies. And this will be basically our chord progression, which I built from this chord progression in the build area. So basically I'll go through just all the different elements real quick. Got these chords that I made in Vital. Got this lead which is basically just a random lead preset in wavetable that I found, and then I put a sine erosion on it, then a noise erosion, then OTT, endless smile because it's in the build, cut out the lows, put a soothe because it's harsh, and then an OTT after the soothe because the soothe was kind of suppressing the sound too much. Got a little Reese that's following the lead. That's just a preset in Vital with some processing on it. All right, so I accidentally paused my Streamlabs, but basically we got multiple risers. Obviously got to build up that tension. We've got like a pad, which I probably should take out the low end. And that's using this plugin called Expand 2, which Ace Aura uses a lot. Then we got a nice impact here, a clappy drum loop that I must have used the tones mode on to make it feel grainy. We got a build up perk that I chopped up. Another impact. This impact probably should take out the lows now that I think about it. Then we got a down sweep, an atmosphere, a vocal riser, and finally this like guitar riser thing. I don't know, I found a bunch of random samples. Then I got a snare, which I also used in the drop, and kind of just wrote out a little pattern to play against all of the other percussion elements that I had going on in the drop. Then I took some fill and chopped it up and put some overdrive on it. And then we got some crashes in the drop. Got this little fill that I just made in a sound design session. Got this like hat transient, which I honestly don't know why that's there, but it works. I think I just wanted some more beef with the hat loop. This is just a hat loop from a song I made a while ago. Got a ride from Dr. Oz's Valentine's Day pack that he released, and I just put a soft clip on it, mid-range fattener preset just to make it a little more clippy and distorted and saturated. Got a kick loop, and I have the kick snare, like the kick that's layered with the snare. I just turned the transient sustain basically down a bit, so it's more of just a little transient click, so it's not clashing too much with the snare group, which that says snare group, but it also incorporates this snare. I think that's everything. Yep, that's everything. So now it is time to get sound designing. I'm excited. All right, so first step, we need to make our bass. So we're gonna go in here, we're gonna get Vital, we're gonna make a nice little growl. Find a cool wavetable. That sounds good. Make a little envelope trigger. We're gonna do some FM with a saw wave. Maybe throw some distortion on here. I'm gonna choose a different wavetable because that's just sounding off key. So you want your growl to be kind of noisy, because when it's kind of noisy and raspy, it's going to work better with things like the hybrid reverb and the Spectral Resonator. Throw some compressor. Maybe smear it a little bit. Add some filtering. All right, so I know that sounds horrible right now, but trust me, when I drag on a spectral resonator, stuff's gonna change. All right, we got that nice and saturated. Now it's time for the magic to happen. So we're gonna take the spectral resonator, we're gonna put it on MIDI mode. We're gonna make the input our chord MIDI right here. And so right now it's on mono. You wanna set it to poly. And perfect, there we go. The decay kind of sounds bad. We'll bring in some decay with like some reverb or the hybrid reverb. Just mess with some of these settings real quick. So the shift is basically shifting the input spectrum up and down. All right, so that's sounding good. So basically, you can use the spectral resonator as a type of almost like a vocoder. Now it's time to just make this feel a little more full. We're compressing it, then we're going to add hybrid reverb. Goes good on chords. Let's try that one. So we're going to do bass mono. We're going to turn the unison up a little bit. We're also going to make this basically a parallel layer. We're going to blend it in. So there's the convolution part, and then there's the reverb part. I'm going to EQ that out, bring the size up. So with the tides algorithm, it has almost like a sort of LFO going on. You can change the rate. And I kind of like that. It gives this nice texture to it. So now we're going to listen to how it sounds. I think this is going to need a little bit of EQing just to kind of fill out the mid. Actually, instead of just bumping the mids like that, I'm going to try out something that I've never done before. We're going to double up the spectral resonator and have it going at 2 different pitches. So there, so we kind of fill in the top and the bottom, and it makes it, there we go. Okay, so the reverb definitely adding space, but it's kind of pushing it too far back. So now we have it at halfway, and yeah, this sounds a lot more full now. I think I want to add some noise to this sound as well. And we might change the resonance going on here. Which one is it? This one? The hiss is a bit much. I'm not liking how the hybrid reverb sounds on this actually. We're going to change the algorithm. And maybe what we're going to do is flatten, or we're going to freeze this track, and we're going to drag one of the chord hits. We're going to drag it into the hybrid reverb. See how it sounds. So if you listen to this, basically that small little chord hit we have, that's the magic of hybrid reverb. If you drag a chord hit into the convolution reverb, it basically creates the atmosphere and the space that that chord hit had, which includes the melodic harmonics and content, and it basically attributes that to the sound you're putting into it. And so that's a way that a lot of people make color basses, using convolution reverb like that. And then if you change the size, it changes the timbre and I believe the key a lot. So mess with the decay a bit. Let's listen to them together. Mess with the size a bit there. There we go, changing the decay and the size. We're gonna modify this a little bit. That's better. Then we're gonna bring in the Spectral Resonator again. Bring input from drop chord. Bring the dry wet of this one down. All right, so we changed the bass a little bit. Now we're going to do this bass, which we're going to do a little bit different. For this bass, we're going to use a kick and sampler. Then we will try Spectral Resonator again. Let's see how it sounds. Drop chord again. All right, so we got that going. Then we're gonna add a vocoder because I want to make this a bit more wet. I'm gonna put it on modulator. We're gonna bring the bandwidth down. We're gonna put a saturator on that. Actually, I'm going to bring the gain down because we're putting the saturator on to kind of fill in some harmonics rather than to make it louder. Just make it feel a little more full. And then on top of that, we're going to bring in the hybrid reverb stack we did here. Bringing the decay down. All right, let's see how that sounds. Let me bring these chords up like that. Bring one of these in here. Fill this in. I'm going to bring in one of these hits as well. We're gonna put that hybrid reverb rack on this little hit as well, just to give them all kind of similar space and tones so they all mesh. There we go. All right, let's listen to this. These need to definitely be turned down. And we're gonna make the hybrid reverb outside of the rack so that it kind of pushes this sound back. I'm gonna automate the foreman on here as well. Just to give it a little more movement. I don't know why this part isn't. Oh, because we need this. Alright, that's sounding dope. Now we just need the finale, a pre-drop vocal. Alright, so for the vocal, we're gonna just go ahead and record I Love Color Bass or something like that. Color bass is pog. Then we go here. Color bass is pog. Wow, that's almost perfect. Color bass is pog. Then we go to Spectral Resonator yet again. Drag it in here. I put a chord up here, same chord things start with, and we're going to do MIDI again, drop chord.
Color bass is par. 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 Color bass is pog. 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 Color bass is pog.
And boom, there we go. We've got a cool robotic vocal.
Color bass is pog.
Let me just do a little more on this, maybe a chorus. Actually, we'll drag in that same hybrid reverb we've been using for everything with the chord hit in it. Drag that on.
Color bass is pog. Color bass is pog.
And yeah, maybe we'll just do a final like saturation, or no, we're gonna put a compressor instead. All right, we got our compressor on. Time for me to just drag in a nice limiter. For this little layer right here, I'm gonna add in one last thing. I think this just needs a nice like saw wave just sitting on top of it. And maybe I'll throw like a disperser. There we go. Maybe saturate it a little bit. EQ out the highs. And throw a disperser. Let's see how this sounds if I just use it. It's like just extra harmonics almost. Let's see. I think this drop is just in need of a few more effects in the background. I'm gonna add those and then play the final drop for you guys. All right, guys, thanks for sticking with me. It was a little bit of a rocky road to get here. This was my first tutorial like this, so I'm still figuring out the format and how to properly record this. So sorry if there's some mistakes here and there, but we have gotten to the final result. Let's see what we've created. Some color bass using the brand new Ableton 11 stock plugins. Let's give it a listen.
Color Bass's Pod.
Fuck yeah, that's cool. I'm proud of that. For making a song in like an hour, that's pretty dope. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. My name is Qbik as always. Let me know if you want more tutorials like this, as well as if you'd like me to break down the individual Live 11 plugins. I know I didn't use Spectral Time. I thought I would be, but I can definitely break things like that down and show you how to use them in the future. It just didn't end up applying in this drop. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you're a real one. And I will see you in the next video. Have a great one and make some color bass.
Color Bass's Pod.